Hello, and welcome to Queuing for Steam, the show where I take a look at what's on Steam's discovery queue and rate it based on my own personal opinions. Okay, let's see what's on today. Okay, Star Ruler 2. Massive scale 4X RCS set in space. Control hundreds of planets, manipulate galactic politics, research numerous advanced technologies, and command thousands of units, hundreds of planets in your quest for galactic dominance. Very positive. 81% of 164 reviews. Alright, I'm not really that into 4X. Yeah, hexagons based strategy games. Though, if I don't know what I mean, is that just a pre-rendered sequence or is it actual in game? No, it can't be. Massive research tech trees, I guess. Different types of resources, I guess, up there. It has, yeah, for a fairly positive um, review um, by the community. Viewed very positive by the community. And it's $25 usually, not on sale at the moment. There is a full pack. It does have multiplayer, and it's cross-platform multiplayer. Possibly this being maybe it was on iOS or something. I'm guessing. Potentially, I'm not too sure. Okay, there is updates being made to it, so it's not that it's been abandoned. Let's see if there's any negative reviews. Okay, one's come to the top. Okay, there's one negative review that's come to the top. Don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but I've been playing Star 1. I think it's an improvement, and I think this is an improvement to that stop right there. Okay, so there's not really much more than the first one, Star Wars 1, if that's on Steam. Um, Things missing from Star Ruler 2. Economy. You no longer have the Galactic Bank or credits. Basic plans run themselves. Okay, so there's a little bit of taking a minute. They've removed some of the meta or micromanaging. Okay, income pool doesn't put, your income doesn't pull up instead on your budget. Resets after recycle. Research is capped. Cannot level a type of research instead there are X amount of research options and X amount cost income item. Okay. So, for most part, support chips don't have power requirements. Graphics are now called designs. Okay, so it's changed a little bit and it's left out some things that are probably in that seem to be in Star Ruler 1. As such, I'm not really familiar with that game either. Um, as to if that's the battles, it can't be. Let me just actually take a look at the video quick. It is also fairly new. Not many people have jumped onto it yet. Okay. There's many different types of races. Okay, so that could potentially actually be in games, those gigantic star battles. Um, yep. Looking through research. Yeah. Okay, that's ground. Building up ground colonies and see. Yep. Is that starship design or? Okay, let's just buffer it for a while. Buffers. Yeah, it's actually starship design. That's interesting. With hexagons. Okay, this isn't working so well. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the series at all, and although that is quite a price, $25, and it doesn't look really that appealing. I'm not too sure the same vein of other space-based um, 4Xs. I'm not too sure. I don't really think I can recommend this all that much until I find out more about it. Okay, TyranoBuilder Visual Novel Studio. Okay, so it's a visual novel builder. The easiest and fastest tool to make your own multi-platform visual novels. Quickly create your own games for Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, HTML5, and CSS3. Even if you know nothing about game programming or scripting, because it's got a friendly menu and does all that for you, honestly, from what it seems. I'm guessing it also comes pre-built with a bunch of actual characters, so probably should allow you to import in other your own personal made um, drawings and such. It is positive with only 25 reviews. It is 88%, though it's very new, and it is also software. It's not really a game as such. I'm not too sure. It has a 25% launch discount. It's usually $15. It's on sale. I'm not really too sure. Okay, some negative reviews. The price I pay, description, nature software, really expect free assets, which I did not find. Oh, so it doesn't come actually with anything. It literally is just the software itself, and you have to import your own images and etc. Which I've done software simulations means I can't make a quick funny visual novel as I tend to do with this purchase. However, if there were assets freely available in software in the manner of the easy obtain them with personal commercial usage, i.e. Steam Workshop. Okay, let's see if it has Steam Workshop integration to share things. That might be quite good. I would say this might be worth a purchase. Okay, it has no, visual Steam Workshop integration, so sharing stuff would be difficult unless you just would have to Google it online. Empty expected characters backgrounds, yes, same problem. So it is just a base level software there, and nothing really comes with it. You have to basically build everything else. Um, hmm. I'm not too sure. I mean, I do like an occasional visual novel from time to time, but as to building my own, I'm not too sure. And like they said, this one doesn't include any base assets, so I'm not really too sure. Yeah, I'm not into that. Asteroids Outpost TM. Oh, it's an early access game. Great. Asteroids Outpost is an open world sandbox survival game. Oh, great. Craft, customize, and upgrade your equipment. Asteroids Outpost is an early access title. Yeah, I just pointed that out. We're constantly adding, tweaking, and improving the game. But that isn't, yeah, and then that isn't something that really sells it. Mostly positive, 73% of the measly 34 reviews, though it has just recently only come out. It has some interesting looking visuals, although that's a bull shot. Another bull shot. It's just actually marketing material. It's wallpaper backgrounds, essentially. Visual download, fantastic. There, it actually looks like that's possible in game. Exploring some kind of ruined space station or no colony thing. If well, that's not possibly in game, but there's a hydroponics kind of unit. Interesting. I mean, it looks visually quite interesting, but it is an early access game, and I don't know how much is really done and how much of this is promise. Yeah. There is a launch discount, or it's currently on discount for the time period. It is usually $30, so yeah, it's lower than that. Any negative early access reviews? Oh, here we go. This is clear warning. Everyone stay away from this game. Is looking. Oh, it's like looking at nudes of your ex when calling her to come over. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, sure. The menu looks pretty, but when you get the actual serving, it's a feces boiled in a rusty microwave. You don't boil stuff in a microwave either. That's kind of. This piece of code is the best. Okay, so basically it's an early access game. There's lots of crap still missing. It needs to be filled out. Okay, this one's kind of grinding an X there. Seems like with his review. Okay, mostly positive from the general consensus, but so whether or not it deserves money right now, I don't know. $20 roughly for a complete game. I don't know. Maybe if it drops down to teens or single figures while it's still in early access, maybe. But it's not complete yet, and I don't know what the final game will really pan out to be like. I mean, is it just a better looking version of Space Engineers, or there's a couple other types of space survival games where you craft and etc. in them. So I don't know if this really deserves any time right now. Maybe later when it's complete. Princess Evangeline all ages version, meaning that there's a PG or 18 plus version out there somewhere. This romance visual novel explores the question of gender integration in the private school. A curious series of events leads to our hero becoming the only boy at prestigious girls' academy. Yeah, that's the premise for a lot of hentai out there. But over 99% of the girls are against integration. Yep, there's some other stupid things. That's kind of a lame premise, really. 100% extreme, just plain positive. There were 11 user reviews. Yep, not many people got this, and it's really, really new. Oh, tons and tons of anime. Yeah, it's a dating. Well, it's not a dating sim essentially. There is a difference between dating sim and visual novel. Um, I can't really say any of these are full shots. Those could be CGs from the game. It's got a really lame premise, and I'm not even sure I'd really be interested in it. It's usually $35, though it's on a sale. It's a launch discount. Yeah, that's ha 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 funny. There's about 6 reviews online. That's fantastic. They're all silly joke reviews, it looks like, from the most part. I don't know. It just doesn't look really that appealing. It just looks like a mediocre, Blair kind of visual novel. Captain Forever Remix. Can you create the Rada spaceship? Captain Forever Remix is a spaceship builder roguelike. Okay, that's somewhat interesting. And it's got a very strange, weird art style. Um, Voyage across the solar system and blast apart randomly generated enemies for spare parts. This is an officially licensed reimagining of the indie classic Captain Forever, a title that I never knew even existed. Um, People tagging planets. That's highly interesting and amusing. Planets that have cloth all over them. It's interesting that you build weird ass characters. You can build your spaceship and it's a weird neon like blueprint type of looking layout. Yeah, it's got a weird ass art style to it, and I don't know if this is really appealing. It looks, I mean, it looks interesting, and geez, you can get some crazy looking stuff going on. It is also early access though, which is another uh, tentative problem. Um, it is, completely positive. There's no negative reviews yet. Though there are only 14 reviews at the moment. It's really really new. A lot of these games are just new. It's so crazy how they pushes them to the top. Uh, it is usually $15. Well, that's pretty good for what it looks like, I can assume. Although it is as a sale launch discount at the moment. Um, hmm. Not really sure. No, yeah, there won't be any negative reviews because none of the reviews are for it yet. It looks interesting, though. Let's actually see what the gameplay itself potentially looks like. Yeah, it's got some weird looking visuals. Okay, so you clip and punch together the thing. Oh, okay. Okay, looks like sheer crazy madness. Yeah, that's a visual assault on the eyes. Although it does have this very like crazy, odd, dare I say it, Adventure Time type of like theme kind of going on with the characters, at least the crazy zany characters and just over the top craziness of it. Okay, so you beat other people and take their parts, yeah, like it says. Um, Whatever. Oh, geez, that looks mental. Um, well, you have a very interesting looking game, and it's visual, like assault in the eyes. Um, right. I get that art style is probably going to be a turn off for some people, or it's only gonna it's definitely one of those types of Marmite type of things. You either really like it or you hate it. It looks fairly entertaining and crazy and zany, but yeah, King Bubblegum. It does have a kind of like thing. It looks like could be fairly interesting and it could be funny though. As to how far it really gets it, I don't know. Because it doesn't. I don't know if there's any much of a single player. No, there's literally nothing else. It's just single player at the moment. And it looks like it's just a drop-in skirmish with like random characters and stuff. I don't know if that will have a large amount of longevity or really keep you entertained for very long. It shows promise, but I don't know if there's enough content really here to keep you entertained for a long period. So probably wait till it's done and on sale, or both. Armello, another early access game. Armello is a grim fantasy fairy tale board game come to life, full of swashbuckling adventure, combining deep tactical card play, okay, rich tabletop strategy, and RPG elements. Wage epic single and multiplayer battles, cast spells, hire agents, prepare poisons, and rule and ruses on the quests for the throne. Very positive, 91% of 168 reviews. It has been up for a good couple of months. It is, well, it looks essentially like a 4X, a hex-based 4X game. You have warriors and characters fighting against monsters and stuff, at least from that. Or other characters, essentially. It's kind of an interesting kind of art style for the characters. Um, yeah, like it says, it has it's a mix of a tactical card play. So there's cards in it and stuff, or yeah, I guess there's those cards and stuff. And then you get tabletop strategy with the hexes and stuff, and RPG elements where you get a hero and you level them up essentially. Um, yeah, that looks fairly interesting, I guess. It's a very different kind of style of 4X and slash board game with turn-based strategy elements in it. Uh, it looks like before. It looks interesting. It's usually $25, so it's on a sale. I don't know if it's a launch sale and there's just a special promotion for the time. I don't know. Let's see if there's any negative reviews. Nope, everything's positive. Yeah, the only other thing I could say is like my usual caveat of early access games. There might not be a lot of content here, parts are missing, and might not run well, etc., etc. The usual spiel. Um, I guess it could be worth a good look. They recently just had a major rebuild, major update to it. Hmm, I don't know. I can't say I can recommend it until it's done or it's on a really heavy discount. Okay, VRC Pro. I guess Virtual Radio Control Pro. Virtual Radio Control. Yeah, RC cars. Takes v, VRC Pro takes you deep into the world of cutting-edge modern RC cars. You can race up to 15 different RC cars on real existing mini race tracks all around the world, all fully customizable and tunable. Yeah, 93, no, 92% of the 25 user reviews positive only. There's no negative reviews yet, though it is extremely new and it's a rather niche title. Not a lot of people have bought it. Yeah, it looks fairly interesting, though it slightly reminds me of a newer HD version of a old game called Revolt, which essentially was a similar premise, or a sort of similar premise, so that Revolt mostly focused on driving and not really tuning or creating your own cars. You were just given static, your own built cars, and then you could switch out to other ones that had better stats and stuff like that. And there was an element to it where you do tricks and fly around a trick map and try and do elements, do tricks and gather resources, kind of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in a way. Then there was also a race mode where you race through crazy, like really heavily themed Mario Kart-esque tracks, and that was pretty cool. This one though seems to be a hugely high definition version and like a realistic version of it of RC cars. Is I don't know. Those are all mostly bull shots. It's possibly in actual gameplay in game. Um, yeah, usual tracks. It's not. It's a full game. And it is. It's usually $45. It is currently on promotion at the moment. It's a measly 10% off though. It's not that much. Um, hmm. Let's see, it's a negative review. Download the game from Steam, launch, fill out the Steam user log, then 252 email used a few times, download the game from the website, install direct copy, wants me to update with 5,000 plus file. It takes about 45 minutes to tell me Steam needs it's already running it. Waste of time. Okay, just because you couldn't get it to work isn't really a negative review. Every CSS is in. Pros, good simulator, works very well. Cons might be nice to see more vehicles. Okay, there's not large expansive vehicles, but that's it's not really that much. They'll probably bring up more, or maybe there'll be DLC for it, but which there currently is nothing. Any other negative? Oh, there's only 2 negative reviews. One was the guy who couldn't get it to work, and the other one is in a language that we can't even understand, presumably. That's it then, I guess. There is not a lot of negative things about it, but it is it's more of a simulation than an arcade racer. Like I said, Revolt is. I guess get it if you're into RC racing. It's a simulated version of RC racing where you can actually build your own RC models, RC cars. Otherwise, though, I can't really recommend it. I don't really do simulators all that much, and even at then, I prefer a simulator light, arcadey kind of style games. So yeah, can't really recommend it myself. Assassin's Creed Unity. This one. Assassin's Creed Unity tells the story of Arno. It looks like Amno. Actually, Ammo there for a second. A-M-O. Arno. Bad spelling, no, bad kerning between the R and the N. A young man who embarks upon an extraordinary journey to expose the true powers behind the French Revolution. In the brand new co-op mode, you and your friends will fight. You'll also be thrown in the middle of a ruthless struggle and fate for a nation. Yeah, you and 3 clones of your same character because Ubisoft couldn't be arsed to make different looking character models. And characters as such, which is so fucking hilarious. Is user reviews are mixed because yeah, it's a pile of garbage, or at least it was on launch, and it still probably has problems. It has 49%. It's middle of the 7,200 users or so user reviews. I mean, all of these here, all of these screenshots are bull shots essentially. None of that's in game. That's all pre-rendered. All pre-rendered. Nothing in game. So basically, they're trying to hide how bad the game actually looks. Really, there. That's quite funny. It is $60. There's no discount whatsoever, which is bad, 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 bad. Castle Creed Unity Revolution Armaments, Sixer Revolution. Yeah, there's also DLC. No, well, I mean that's DLC, and those possibly are. Okay, weapon pack, what they do, and this one, which includes a couple of missions and stuff like that. And some weapons and stuff. That one possibly would be good to extend it, but there's also, like I said, yeah, it's certain you need a Uplay account, this third party DRM crap with Uplay, and if you don't like having to launch another thing on top of Steam, then it's an annoying feature. Also, there's it wasn't DLC. I was trying to make microtransactions based inside of the game for Unity points or whatever the fuck they were called. Amnes points or whatever to unlock certain things, and you've got to pay in game, so you're paying on top of the $60 already, which is bullshit, really. It's just a way to suck more money out of you. Although they did, however, released because of the incredibly bad launch, they did give you one of the DLCs free, and I think it's quite a significant DLC. Oh no, don't do that. Yeah, it was one of them were, I think they were planned to be a actual proper paid DLC. It's actually free instead. That's I don't know if that really forgives them for having such a shit game. And all of the reviews that are boiled to the top are negative. Oh, so bad, so bad. This is fucking fraud. It's been shit for a whole month. Publish admin store page failed. Whole month. Huge fan of Assassin's Creed. Yeah, basically, don't buy this game. I recommend buy Black Flag. It's an entirely better game, more crashes than NASCAR. uh, I'll, I'll give you a review when it's out of early access. Yeah, essentially, this game was almost feels like it was early access, but it was a big AAA $60 title from Ubisoft, which is like it's fucking laughable. New borderless window mode does not turn off. It does not work. Mini graphics option terrible. FPS and high-end PCs. That's interesting. Terrible. Giant FPS drops all over the world. Yeah. New SLI is now broken. VSync is only on and off. Well, refresh rate, environment quality. Luminous is lacking many settings for PC. Yeah, it's also a terrible port from what it seems. There's very many. This is a performance review, not a gameplay review. Yeah, lots of people are even saying that now. That's interesting. They are tailoring their reviews. I would say don't get this game. It's really stupid, and it's taking the best elements out of their last game and essentially dumbing it down again back to Assassin's Creed 2 or even 3. Um, no, I can't recommend it. Get Black Flag. It's much better and it's cheaper, especially if you manage to get it on a sale. Okay. X-Plane 10 Global 64-bit. Interesting. That is a 32-bit version. Ooh, it's got mixed reviews. Great. X-Plane 10 Global is the latest version of the simulator that has been developed continuously for almost 20 years, yet I've never heard of it before. This latest version of X-Plane 10 brings no, it is literally X-Plane. Okay. 10 brings numerous improvements in graphics for PC, Mac, Linux, and virtual pilots. What? No, that was the latest version of X-Plane 10. Brings numerous improvements and enhancements for PC, Mac, and Linux virtual pilots. What are you trying to say there? That's for you shouldn't have even put virtual pilots. You should just leave that part out. Otherwise, your sentence doesn't make any fucking sense. Unleashing the power of modern systems with its 64-bit multi with processing and multi. I don't know what the fuck it's even said with the rest of it. Yeah, you probably could have fit the rest of that in if you'd left out virtual pilots, which doesn't make any sense with the rest of the goddamn sentence. Probably someone who's not an English major wrote this. Let's see. B2 stuff on. Mixed use reviews, 65% of only 364 user reviews. It's quite old too, and not a lot of people have bought this, and it's not really reviewed that well. That's interesting. I mean, other than really interesting jets and stuff, I'm not too sure. It's also a simulator. Really, really not into simulators. Okay, you can land on an oil rig and on an aircraft carrier. That's fairly interesting if those are actually things. Well, interesting jets, and you can actually go stratosphere into the high stratosphere. It's interesting. Fairly detailed grounds vehicles and stuff. Ground textures and ground detail. Although what you bet it has millions of fucking tons of DLC because it's a simulator, just like those transport, the railroad or Euro Rail Simulator or whatever the fuck they were called. They got shit tons of DLC, and it's not even very cheap either. God, look at that. I mean, the base game sells $60, and you've almost got like what is this? Caravan, siege, up to 40 passengers. One single fucking plane is $35. Why? What the fuck? I mean, I I just don't understand. What the fuck is this thing? Oh, let's see what negative reviews there are. There's probably tons. It's a great engine, still well made. The problem is you're just buying the engine with a couple of mediocre airplane models. Ah, okay, so all of the fucking airplanes you have to buy are the DLC. Yeah, at least $20 each, but expect around $80 for a good one. Ooh, okay, so it's bare bones. It's literally a platform to sell DLC. Unlike FSX, Flight Simulator 10. Okay, or X. This game is not a huge memory hog. It plays pretty good, really decent. There's the airports, all of them are bare on runways and taxiways, and costs you around. Okay, so it's basically it literally has a platform to sell DLC. It's nothing more than that. That's quite misleading and that's quite garbage. I guess that's why it's negative. Yeah. The air traffic add-ons and ATC. Okay, so then I literally can't recommend it. It's trying to leech money out of your wallet, and it's a simulator, air simulator. I'm not interested in those, so yeah, beware of that one, I guess. Maya LT. Okay, this one's definitely software 3D design or 3D modeling program. Yeah. Maya LT is a cost-effective 3D animation and modeling software built for the professional indie game makers. Features in Maya LT are designed to make each step of the 3D creative process faster for experienced artists and easier to learn for new users. You can also create your next hit game faster. Yeah, I've heard of Maya. I know a bit about it. It's really in depth 3D design tool that's really especially good at designing organic looking creatures or models, etc. Also, yeah, maybe it actually does non-organic, like robotic looking stuff quite well too. I haven't really had any experience with this modeling program. And if it's LT, which I'm guessing is a light version of some kind, meaning it isn't as heavily intensive as the full version, it could be quite good, though, like it says, even if it says easier to learn for new users, that means it probably is still quite difficult for people who just have no 3D modeling experience whatsoever. Interesting there is showing how to map 2D textures onto the wireframe model. That's the layout for skins. That's interesting. I'm not really into. I mean, as a can't really recommend this on any circumstance because it's software. And it's a subscription based format too. Unless you're actually paying for it to be built on a recurring basis. Nope, no. Pay for it in full or don't pay for it at all. Is my opinion. I don't like these subscription things. Oh, negative reviews. No transfer maps. Please bring that this an update. This is a big problem with game modeling and development. Even for indie games. Is almost a great piece of software. It's currently held back by inclusion of one vital piece. First, good having a photo system, fantastic. During the Maya's visual price. Okay, it's $3,000 for the full version. That's also quite bullshit too. As well be $1 million as far as most Indian merchants having Maya run to Steam accounts is also to really convenient. Okay. Autodesk has been listening to looking at some features that are seemingly arbitrary removed from LT. But then no Python support. Okay. Current incarnation is currently using a calculator project view on my LT sole purpose located in the there are several other random things missing. Okay, so yeah, like I said, it's not a full version, it's a light version, but an app could piss off people who are looking for a professional modeling program, and keeps crashing. Okay, so maybe it's not stable either. Yeah, I can't really recommend it. It's software, and this is more of a gaming platform, so yeah. Apotheon. Apotheon is a heroic action game set within the vibrant world of ancient Greek mythology. Ascend Mount Olympus, wrestle divine powers from the pantheon of gods, and save mankind. Very positive, 94% of 295 user reviews. It is a couple, 1 or 2 months old, so it's had good enough time to grab a following. And very positive is pretty good because, yeah, as I'd say, that's all in actual gameplay right there, I'd say. Or maybe it's a simulated gameplay that I don't see much of a. Yeah, it's simulated gameplay. There's no HUD. I think unless they've recorded these pictures without a HUDless version or a HUDless option. It's a rather interesting looking game. It's all done through this sort of it's a 2D action platformer where you fight mostly at melee, although you do get bows and arrows, etc. But the visual art style is rather amazing because it has this Greek pottery kind of feel where you even actually see texture of like granite and or marble and plaster kind of texture in the background, giving it this whole pottery type of feel, which like a moving fresco. No, it's not really a fresco. It's moving pottery kind of design. It's really quite interesting visually. Um, yeah, as to the storyline as well, it's kind of interesting. You play as a Greek sort of warrior, or maybe it's a citizen that ascends into a warrior, and then you fight to go to fight the gods and stuff like that. Though I say that, it does remind me somewhat of God of War's type of storyline, but nevertheless, I don't know. It's really appealing visual fidelity. I think visual identity, which is what probably draws me to it the most, and is usually $15, though it's on a sale at the moment. It's only a 24-hour sale, so it should be up by the time this comes out. Let's see what negative reviews. There's one. Preface. I'm very reluctant not recommending this game. It was a gift for one, but secondly, I really want to like it on its own terms. As a classic scholar, its concepts are all kinds of wonderful, but I feel duty bound to be honest. Everyone Rose art style, yeah. Top-notch animated film. Greek's music is also evocative, also in the gameplay. Constellation Greek theme platform inspired pottery is fantastic, yeah. And man, storyline is simplistic, yeah. It has kind of been done there, been there, done that. If you fell off the ancient Greek religion, that's my moments of frustration. New heroes for poor choices. Cons. What other reviews I said about combat is sadly true. The controls are terrible on keyboard and mouse. Okay, so you might want to have played on the controller. Though I feel for how it feels like Hotline Miami 2, it should probably really be played with a mouse for aiming. But no. Combat feels floaty. There are several moments when enemies kill themselves, shoot themselves out of the level, including an elite, is impossible for one boss battle. Okay, so there's some weird glitchy physics-based stuff. Boss battles and neat gimmicks implemented poorly. Bosses less about challenge of working out a strategy of being skilled. Simply having the patience to grind it down. Okay, so there's lots of the actual gameplay, but it's a visual, interesting art aesthetic to it. I don't know, yeah, I kind of want to get it for myself to see what it's like, but I probably would recommend it as such. Okay, Eastside Hockey Manager. Oh boy. Eastside Hockey Manager Early Access, man, is another thing. Offers fans the most realistic, in-depth, immersive simulation of hockey management available, giving them the chance to manage club or country in any one of the world's top hockey playing nations. Very positive. 94% of only 55 reviews, though it is really new, and it's also early access. So, interesting how they got the Sega logo. Is it anything to do with Sega? Oh, it is published by Sega. It's an early access game published by Sega. That's interesting. Yeah, it's early access and it's a simulation management game, which sports management, and I can't even bring myself to even get enthusiastic about this. It's $15. It's getting updated, but no negative reviews because there's only like 55 reviews at the time. Can't really say I'd be interested in this at all. Alright, and that concludes today's look through the queue. I'll come back to you with another new look at another queue next time. Okay, see ya!